In a slight departure to my normal pottery review videos, today I'm going to be taking a look at the xTools M1 laser and blade cutter I just received. This is a desktop integrated cutter with a laser and a blade plotter, so it can engrave metal and then it can either cut with the laser or cut with the blade various other materials like wood, acrylic, paper, card, and so on and so forth. So there's lots of ways that this can be incorporated into the pottery process, which is obviously why I'm interested in it. Full disclosure, I was given this for free in order to test and review it. As with all my other review videos, I'd only take it on if I was allowed to review it honestly, which I am. The only requirement that xTools had was the first of the videos be produced within a short time period of getting it. Unfortunately, because this has coincided with the run up to Christmas, I have not been able to get this out and test it properly yet. So this is me, literally I've just unboxed it, and I will do a follow-up video once I've managed to incorporate it into some of the projects that I have planned. Unfortunately, it's just because it's ended up arriving so close to Christmas, it's all been a bit frantic up to this point. But I have more or less cleared my Christmas orders, so I can now have a proper play with this. There will be a follow-up video fairly soon in which I test it properly. So about this as I said is an integrated all-in-one desktop machine, so it does everything contained within the chamber here in which it will cut and engrave, and the machine has a 16 megapixel camera that can detect everything that's within the print bed and automatically align artwork to it. So in theory, and this is very good for me because I've not used a laser cutter or a blade cutter before, this should be very beginner friendly. It also, because it's completely contained, it has an exhaust vent on the back to allow you to vent all the exhaust directly out of a window, which makes it very useful for using indoors, in my case in the studio, because some of the things you'll cut will produce quite harmful fumes, especially when laser cut, and this avoids it. So that's why I was particularly interested in this one, because it's such a neat, compact, beginner friendly solution. I was also sent the rotary attachment to go with it, and in theory this allows me to engrave into pottery. You can engrave into cylinders, so you can engrave into thrown mugs or tumblers. Quite how that's going to work I don't know. That's going to be a fun thing to figure out, but looking forward to doing that. The laser is capable of engraving metal and cutting, I think they said up to 8mm thick wood in one pass. The accuracy is apparently 0.01 millimeters, with the laser spot accuracy being 0.08 millimeters. So in theory very, very precise. And I'll run you through some of my ideas for what might work with this that I'm looking forward to testing. So obviously you can cut out self-adhesive sticker material. Now there are some great examples of people doing work with that. My favourite would be Kenny at Turn Studios, and he does some amazing work where he stencils intricate patterns to make zoetropes and amazing things like that. Now I don't think I'm going to be able to do anything anywhere near as complicated as he does, but I have some plans for using stickers as resists. So you design your artwork, cut the sticker out, stick the sticker over it, glaze, and then take the sticker back off. Or you stick the sticker over and then wax resist and then glaze, and then take the sticker off and then glaze. Either of those should be quite fun, and I think they should both work quite well. Another one that I'm really intrigued with is there's some slightly thicker material in the material pack that's flexible plastic. There are some potters doing some amazing things using the flexible plastic pressed into clay to work as a stencil, but also allow you to build up a 3D shape by filling in the gaps that's left around the plastic. One fantastic example of that, and apologies if I'm getting the name wrong because I've only ever seen it written down on Instagram, is Rennie Lepresti, who does some really amazing intricate patterns with it, and I'm really intrigued to see if this will allow me to do one-offs, or will allow me to make stencils that work the same way. Now, I've got a few ideas that I haven't seen anyone else do, and that might be because they don't work, and they might work, and it just might be that no one's bothered trying them yet. Especially seeing as part of what makes this so special and part of why I wanted this is it's not just the cutter. The things that I've been talking about so far use the cutting attachment, which is very useful, but this has the laser as well. So wax resist burns off at high temperature. The laser focuses to a very fine point, and obviously you don't get too much spread of the laser. So I'm wondering if you wax resisted a surface and then use the laser to etch a design, would that burn off the wax just where that was? And if it would, then you can do one-off personalized very intricate designs into wax resist, which would be really interesting if that worked. You could do a lot with that, like plates and coasters, anything that would fit in here. And because I've got the rotary attachment, that would be one way that you could interact with mugs to transfer a design onto the mug that could be very interesting and very unique. If that worked, great. If not, I have one other idea for what might, which is that you can get some frits that melt at lower temperatures than others. And I don't know how hot the focal point of the laser is capable of making something. It's a hard thing to get a specific answer for because the laser is energy, it's not heat. So you can't ask how hot is a laser because a laser isn't hot, and how hot a laser makes something is a question of what that material's properties are and how long you point the laser at it. So I don't know how hot I can reasonably expect the focal point of the laser to get, but in theory, if you did a wash of, say, Frit 3134 and bentonite to keep it in suspension, and you or something like that, maybe borax would work, but you wash that over the surface, in theory you might be able to use the heat of the laser to fuse just that, and then you could wash the rest of it off, because where the laser hasn't hit, it would just be sat on the surface, and where the laser has hit, it will have melted it and fused it to the surface. Now if that's the case, then even if there are any issues with the heat from the laser melting the wax further out, so wax resist doesn't work, that might work. And the other thing that might work was latex resist. I suspect it would be easier to cut that, but I don't know. That'd be an interesting one to see. But in theory, if you could cut into latex resist and then remove just part of what you cut, leaving behind the other parts, you could put an intricate design into latex resist on a flat surface and then selectively peel bits off to glaze more and more of it. Again, no idea if this is going to work. I'm looking forward to trying all these things, but for now I wanted to get a video of this up sooner rather than later so that you could see what it is, what it does, and they're running an offer for the next week or so, I think. So there's a discount that only applies shortly after this video is posted, so I wanted to get the video up as soon as possible. I will be setting this up this afternoon. I doubt I will have any results to edit in to this video, but there should be a follow-up video in a few days. Hopefully I'll get it done before the offer finishes, so you'll get to see the fired results. Oh, and maybe not fired results, but at least I'll be able to show you on a mug whether or not any of this works, even if it hasn't been fired yet. We should know whether or not the principles work. Definitely the cutting out stickers for stencils will work, and cutting out flexible plastic to press into things will work, because other people use that technology, and I'm intrigued to see what else this can do. They also sent me the premium material package, which is an option when buying it. The standard, the machine as standard comes with a few sheets of things that you can cut, but this is a more extensive box of materials they have tested and can give you the settings for. So there is a set of material instructions and the settings you use for them, and then a pack of different types of wood, various smaller things that you can use for projects like jewellery and coasters, and lots of hanging tags that you can engrave, and then a few different types of flexible sticker and plastic materials, and I think there's some leather in here as well. So these are going to be great for getting started. I don't need to find materials that will work. These are all things that they have tested and know will work and can give me the settings for. So I'm looking forward to giving these a go, and hopefully it will speed up the getting started process, as I'll be able to cut something out immediately.